Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is June the 1st, 2024. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Let's see here. Today has been really relaxing, really chill so far. I'm only in my afternoon phase, but I pretty much just, kind of woke up, gamed a little bit, went back to sleep, woke up, did a little exercising, so that was nice. Let's see here. Random, but I decided that I am going to do a shout out this month. So shout out to Ed, shout out to Stephanie. Thank you, my newsies. Figured I'd do it at the top. Maybe I will go back to doing the top of the month shout outs. I feel like that would just be good. It's okay. If I'm a small bean, small number, I definitely feel like you guys deserve a shout out for your contribution to the effort, like I said, puts a smile on my face, puts a little something in my wallet. I'm really hoping, to maybe even use that someday to maybe help expand the project if I get enough patrons. But we'll see. It's not that big a deal. Not a big worry. Anyway, food corner. Let's see. What did we eat? It was pizza day. It was Friday pizza day, baby. It was good. It was yummy. What did we have toppings wise, sauce wise? One pizza was a chicken with a barbecue base. Very, very yummy. And then also I had a sausage with feta cheese. The chicken one had provolone cheese. But and that sausage pizza had a marinara base. So yeah, it's really good. It was yummy. I will say I kind of am now craving a chicken pizza again, but I want breaded chicken. Is that crazy? Am I wild for that? I don't think so. I've literally seen people put like waffles and pancakes on pizza. So, I think anything is possible. I think a little fried chicken on a pizza wouldn't be that crazy, wouldn't be that wild, but call me a heretic. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about in the personal, in the little blog nook we have before we get into the real shit? No, I think we're good. Let's go ahead and do the startup, and we can get into some news. Ooh. All right. Ooh. Our first story comes from Bleeping Computer. ShinyHunters claims Santander breach, selling data for 30 million customers. Now, if you're like, hey, didn't we talk about ShinyHunters already? Like, wasn't that a thing like yesterday? You would be right, but that was for Ticketmaster. Looks like they are on a little bit of a wave. A threat actor known as ShinyHunters is claiming to be selling a massive trove of Santander bank data, including information for 30 million customers, employees, and bank account data 2 weeks after the bank reported a data breach. So, yeah, they are at it. Let's see here. Also, I kind of wanted to get into, too. Maybe you notice, the real ones know, the real nerds. The top image in my thumbnail is an Umbreon, right? And that clicked for me like I was Watson just getting schooled by Sherlock. I was like, oh my God, of course. And I didn't know why. It's in the name, ShinyHunters. They hunt for shinies. And I was like, of course. I'm sure these are maybe millennial Zoomer era little hacker kids, or maybe even people my age around that time. And they just like doing that shit. They like these kind of things. I like Pokemon. Hell yeah. I immediately saw the Umbreon. I was like, that's a cool image. Wait, that's what, and it's of course, these guys are just on guys, gals, whoever, they're just online doing it, and of course they're gonna have a little weird avatar. Of course they're gonna like Pokemon. It was just weird that it didn't connect to me the second I saw it. I don't know. I felt like making an aside about that because oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. Let's see here. Yeah, they're not talking about that on the BBC, okay? Anyway, what else do we need to pull? They're also the owner of Breach Forums, a notorious online community trafficking in the sale and leaking of stolen data, which has survived several law enforcement takedowns over the past couple of years. Excuse me. 2 weeks ago, Spain's largest bank, Santander, disclosed a data breach after detecting unauthorized access to a database hosted by a third-party provider. The company's investigation determined that the threat actor assessed data for employees and customers in Chile, Spain, and Uruguay. Following the investigation, we have now confirmed that certain information relating to customers of Santander, Chile, Spain, and Uruguay, as well as all current and some former Santander employees of the group had been accessed. But they go on to add that customer data in all other Santander markets and businesses are not affected. Fast forward to 2 weeks, and as first spotter, dark web informer, ShinyHunters is now claiming to sell the data for Santander customers in Chile, Spain, and Uruguay for $2 million. The same data the bank reported was stolen. Let's see here. ShinyHunters claims that stolen data contains the personal information of 30 million customers and employees, 28 million credit card numbers, and 6 million account numbers and balances. As part of the sale listing, the threat actor also shared samples of the data that contain the listed information but cannot be confirmed to belong to Santander. It should be noted that Santander's quarter 1 2024 financial report states that there are only 19.5 million customers in those countries rather than the 30 million claimed by the threat actor. So who knows? Maybe they're fluffing their numbers to kind of maybe make a better profit, but we'll see. Let's see. Was there anything else I really wanted to pull from this? I know hackers be hacking. Let's see. I don't care. Let me see here. Oh, no, that's for another thing. That's a flashback to the 73 million. I don't really need to pull the ShinyHunters quote for that. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see if there's going to be any more hacks, coming down the pipeline from ShinyHunters. Like I said before, you can kind of squish these kind of groups, like make a big bust, get them for this, that, or the third. But then next thing you know, maybe it's months, years, but they come back, sometimes better than ever. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. I really just wanted to hone in on the fact that I caught that Umbreon shit. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to some sadder shit. We got to go talk about some true crime again. Anyway, from ABC News, got something in my way here. Doomsday author Chad Daybell found guilty in triple murder case. A jury has found Chad Daybell guilty in the murders of his first wife and his second wife's 2 children in what prosecutors in Idaho said was a plot to pursue money, power, and sex. The verdict in the capital murder trial followed 7 weeks of testimony and comes more than a year after Daybell's second wife, Lori Vallow, was also convicted of murdering her 2 youngest children, Joshua J.J. Vallow, 7, and Tylee Ryan, 16, in a so-called doomsday plot. The jury began deliberations Wednesday evening, during which they were sequestered before reaching a verdict midday Thursday, finding him guilty on all counts. Prosecutors have said they plan to pursue the death penalty for the murder charges. The sentencing phase of the trial is set to begin Thursday afternoon. So yeah, I mean, that's still been an ongoing thing. I haven't heard a definitive thing, but I also kind of realized that I think there's going to be more trial time for Lori Vallow. So, we're not done with this yet, exactly. As much as I was going to be like, okay, good, I'm happy to kind of wash my hands of this shit. But no, we're not. I'll read a little bit more before we move on because I'm already ready to go. This story kind of bums me out. Prosecutors claim that Vallow and Daybell thought the two children were dark spirits and zombies and conspired with Vallow's now deceased brother, Alex Cox, to murder them in 2019, approximately a year after the couple met at a religious conference. Let's see here. Daybell was also charged with the murder and conspiracy in the death of his former wife, Tamara Tammy Daybell, 49, who died October 19th, 2019. Her cause of death was asphyxiation, prosecutors revealed during Vallow's trial. It just bums me out because I was kind of thinking about this, where it's just like, man, like, do you think that they actually bought the shit that they were selling to themselves? Like, that they were really prepping for some apocalypse thing? Or do you think it was just like what the prosecutors are saying? It's like, no, they just wanted to kind of like lighten their fucking load. You know, they just didn't want to go through the hassle of actually like leaving people. So they just got rid of people, which to me seems way, way worse. So much worse. And it bums me out, you know. I can't figure it out because like you listen to them talk to like to themselves and they really seem to be like cooking it up, but it's just like, I don't know, it's just an illusion that they were just gonna always ride on or whatever. I don't know, man, but no matter what, it doesn't make it any less fucked up and sad. But yeah, I figured we'd at least kind of touch up on it. I'd mention this article if you want to go and kind of pull it all from there if you'd like. But I'm glad that this guy is at least guilty. I mean, I felt like that was kind of like a known. So at least we can kind of just move on from there. And so yeah, so from one crime to another, kind of weirdly keeping death in the story, you know, but that's kind of part of the course for this podcast. From NBC News. Neighbors shocked by arrest of 81-year-old suspected of being serial slingshot shooter. So yeah, I'm kind of coming in at the tail end of a story that was maybe covered either this week or last or so. Let's see. Neighbors of the 81-year-old man accused of being a slingshot shooter who terrorized his neighborhood for a decade by firing ball bearings through windows and windshields, were left shocked and in disbelief by his arrest before his sudden death Wednesday became known. Prince King, who lived in Azusa, died of heart disease at a private residence, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office said on its website Thursday. King's neighbors in Azusa, a small city 26 miles east of Los Angeles at the foot of San Gabriel Mountains, were surprised that the old man they knew as Wick had been arrested. I feel like this is very slick and great foreshadowing by whoever made this article. I know I should know that, but whatever. Anyway, because it's giving John Wick with the slingshot, but we haven't gotten there yet. I know. Let's see. He was always nice. Veronica I'm going to say Jonason. You know I love names. Veronica Jonason, who lived next door to King, said in an interview. Jonason said that she works from home and that King would frequently declare break time and come over to chat. She said that he would bring treats for her dog and that they never had any problems. So that sounds sweet. That sounds wholesome, right? Like this, you think this is a nice little old man and he just wants a little bit of time to chat, but at least he makes up for it in little dog treats. And that's cute. That's wholesome. That's fine. You can work with that. You can work around that. That's a solid neighbor, you'd think. I'm honestly surprised, Jonathan said. I never thought he'd be terrorizing the neighborhood like that. Let's see. Jonathan said she and her sister-in-law called King Gran Torino. Also, more great foreshadowing, because if you've seen Gran Torino, then you know just the vibe of that kind of old man. Of like, okay, maybe he's endearing, but like, this man is a little racist and maybe a little traumatized from a war. So like, is this gonna work out? Should I like hang out with this dude? But like, he's got a nice car, my Gran Torino. But needless to say, okay, this is really setting the picture for me, and I already know where this, we already know what winds up happening. What's his dark, his dark story. I shouldn't laugh. I know he's dead now. R.I.P. King was arrested on May 23rd, capping a long-running quality of life investigation by Azusa police into a spat of vandalism on North Enid Avenue. Nobody was hurt, but police were stymied for years. This is a whole fucking caper, okay? Let's see. A search of King's two-bedroom home led to the discovery of a slingshot and ball bearings, which resulted in his arrest. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what kind of slingshot he had. I didn't get a chance to get eyeballs on it. I would almost have to imagine it would be like a wrist rocket these days, right? Like, that's not too crazy to get. And they can do a little bit of damage, especially with some ball bearings. So my thing is, one, this is definitely an annoying kind of like a certain kind of maliciousness that I definitely fucking hate. Like, it's giving Dennis the Menace, but you're 81 years old. Like, cut it out. Like, you don't need to do this. And especially, I feel like that he has like the sentience here because he's able to be nice. He's able to be like sweet to his neighbor, but then at the same time, he's also on his porch taking pot shots with a slingshot. It's also added that even though I've heard a lot of podcasts and stuff talk about the slingshot, and it really doesn't matter, but he also had a BB gun as well, because a neighbor said that it's like, I didn't see a slingshot, but I did see him with a BB gun, and she says he was using it to shoot coyotes. At least that's what he said. And that kind of fits with the demographic or whatever of the area. There are like coyotes and stuff, and you kind of, hey, you gotta do something to kind of keep the population down or whatever. Though, I mean, I personally maybe don't love that method. Once again, it just seems like it's rooted in a certain kind of like childishness, and maybe if you're younger, a little BB gun, a little BB Red Ryder has a little bit more significance to you. It has a little bit more utility to you. But to me, I've always thought of a BB gun as like an angry airsoft gun. Like, you don't need this. Like, put that away. Like, you only use that in like the fucking holler or whatever to shoot possums, I guess. But once again, don't like that. Don't love that. That feels icky. So, and even then, I really stopped liking airsoft guns as much once I got like almost shot in the eye. I was almost like fucking Snake Plissken or whatever. I don't want to live that life. So, at the end of the day, this is really a meager, small story. And I do want to add that it's unfortunate that he passed away, of heart disease and all that. But yeah, I mean, it sucks to have your car vandalized, your home windows, whatever, like, because someone's like sitting on a porch popping off with a fucking BB gun and a slingshot and shit for no reason. Like, it doesn't seem like he has any beef with anybody. Also, it's weird too, because I think he had like a camera put up from his garage to look at like other neighbors and stuff, so that was weird. So yeah, a little weird. A little Disturbia, awkwardness, I don't know. But, neighbors can be funky, a little odd. It's weird, like I said, when you have an overgrown, old-ass Dennis the Menace as a neighbor. I hope that, to God, I never run into a neighbor like that, and pray I never become that neighbor, okay? I just want to be the nice neighbor that has some dog treats and says the break time and leaves it at that. And no Gran Torino arc, okay? No Wick energy, all right? I don't want that. So yeah, we'll go ahead and leave it there. I have one more thing I wanted to cover. It's an update. We'll call it good news, but it is, it's still frustrating and upsetting to go back to certain stories like this, but we got to do it. That just comes with the gig. Let's go ahead and take our last break, and we will get into it. All right. From CBS News. Florida deputy who fatally shot U.S. airman is fired following internal investigation. A sheriff's deputy who fatally shot a Florida airman at his apartment earlier this month has been fired, authorities announced Friday. Deputy Aaron Duran was terminated following an investigation by Internal Affairs. The Okaloosa, they're going to kill me for that one. Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office reported in a news release. The investigation determined that Duran's use of deadly force in the shooting of senior airman Roger Fortson was not objectively reasonable and therefore violated agency policy, the sheriff's office said. The firing of the officer who shot and killed Roger Fortson is a step forward, but it is not full justice for Roger and his family. The actions of this deputy were not just negligent, they were criminal, the family attorney Ben Crump said in a Friday evening statement. While the criminal investigation is still ongoing, we fully anticipate charges will be filed against the officer. The video footage provides damning proof that this was a brutal and senseless killing of a young man who was simply enjoying time alone with his dog while chatting with his girlfriend. And I couldn't agree with that more. And it was something that I was like really kind of jogging my head with, because I'm like, how did they wind up even having this like disturbance? Because we've talked about the story before, where the police officer says that he was called. He goes to the complex office and they tell him, you got to go here. Let's see here. The sheriff's investigators determined that Duran had initially been dispatched to an in-progress physical disturbance at Fortson's apartment complex, the sheriff's office said in a news release Friday. The sheriff's office says that when Duran arrived at the complex, he was directed by a complex employee to Unit 1401, where the employee stated was the location of the disturbance, and added that there had been a recent unreported disturbances at or around the same apartment, the sheriff's office reported. Which that vague part is not good here, because then essentially it's like, okay, it makes it make a lot more sense to me, where it's like this man was just talking to his girlfriend, just hanging out at his house. He gets a knock. The first knock, he doesn't know who, because the person does not say who they are. They are just knocking like a cop fucking knocks at your door when they're trying to get your attention. And you go to the door, except Fortson, doing his God-given American right, gets a gun. He has a gun. He's licensed to carry one. He then, at some point, there is a second knock and announcement, and that's something I didn't know. So it's like, okay, cool. Then we get to the door. Fortson opens the door and essentially is blown away for just having a gun and opening the door. And, more or less Internal Affairs, I feel like the way that they try to be as tactical as they can about it. And essentially they're saying like, look, let's see. I can just go ahead and just read the blurb here. In the body cam video, the deputy initially knocks without announcing himself. About 30 seconds later, he knocks again, saying he's with the sheriff's office and to open the door. He knocks and announces himself approximately 10 seconds later. Within seconds of Fortson opens the door, the deputy shoots Fortson, who is holding what appears to be a handgun at his side. Let's see. Sheriff's investigators allege that when Fortson opened the door, Duran saw Fortson holding a firearm in his right hand, but that the gun was pointed at the ground sufficiently enough for the former deputy to clearly see the rear face of the rear sight. And I realized, like, why are they saying it that way? And it's like, it is to show you that this is something that they train you to understand, to be like, hey, you're supposed to make this mental check that this gun, even though it's in the person's hand, is not being used in a threatening way yet. You should not act yet. And essentially this cop overrid that and said, I'm going to blow this guy away because I'm scared. And that's a mistake. That's a series of mistakes that led to this man dying. And I truly feel that if he was not an airman, we would not be talking about this. It would not be getting the same kind of coverage. It would not get the same kind of reaction. It would get swept under the rug. And I'm scared that Duran is not going to actually get tried. I would like to see it, even though I know it's not going to actually change anything. I would like to see justice take place. I mean, what can I say? We just had our former president get convicted. I would like to see this ball keep on rolling. You know what I mean? You feel me? But yeah, to me this was good news, and it sucks to come back to the story. It's sad, cause I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like he was just having a normal night. He was having a normal night, and now he's dead. So that sucks. But I am gonna call it there. I don't. Anyway, if you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Isaiah News. You can support the effort, like I said, whether it be a cup of coffee, if you will, or maybe for the grand master plan of, I don't know, getting like a real computer and not a ruddy laptop and a couple of blue Yetis. But hey, we'll get there. We move. Let's see. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. And then I'm on all the socials that you're probably on. Hopefully you subscribe to the YouTube. Really helps out. That's another free way to really bolster the ranks. Helps out the algorithms and whatnot. Liking is good. Comments are good. Sharing is caring. So yeah. Hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.